What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Hot Corner. I may change the name just because I found out there's somebody on YouTube who collects baseball cards it's called the Hot Corner, and he had it first. So I got to find something to change it to. So if you have a recommendation what I should change this to, then let me know down in the comment section below. If you don't know what you're listening to, this is a baseball, I wouldn't say podcast, but just a baseball YouTube channel where I talk about baseball. I played baseball literally majority of my whole life, got into college, stopped really watching it, and now I'm kind of back in it. I've been back in it basically since I graduated. And so, yeah, today, if you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of the video, we're going to be talking about the Texas Rangers just because they have put so much money into overhauling this team. And I want to talk about if this is the year for them to see some progress, because last year we saw the Marcus Semien and then we saw Corey Seager to shore up the middle. And then this year we got Jacob DeGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Will Smith, even though that was a cheaper deal. But still, they just done a lot to revamp this team. And I don't quite think they're expecting to make some noise, but I think they do expect to be a lot better. And so that's what we're going to talk about. As of right now, they're 7-5, which that's pretty good for them. I mean, I know it's only 2 games, especially when you consider it's baseball. 2 games don't really mean much, like 2 games above 500. But right now, they're ahead of division. So I think that's good for them. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So if you didn't know, the Texas Rangers fans, if you didn't know, if you're not a Texas Ranger fan, just enjoy baseball and you're listening to this, Bruce Bochy is their manager, who was the manager for, I think, a lot of those or all of those San Francisco Giants World Series. I forgot what year that was. Was that early 2000s? I mean, 2010s, I believe so. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's a good, first of all, I think that's a good hire. That's who they hired this offseason. I think that's a good hire. I think he's going to get these guys kind of where they need to go. Similar to the Giants, you don't have to have a superstar necessarily. You just need a lot of good players, and they're slowly building towards that. Like I said, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. I mean, both of those guys are really good. Don't get me wrong, but then you have Aldis Garcia, Josh Young, Bubba Johnson, who is a young outfielder that's been playing pretty well for them. I think that their weakest spot now, because they definitely did the pitching this offseason. They brought in Andrew Haney, however you say his name, and he had 9 strikeouts the other day, but he's not a good pitcher. That's what's crazy about him, is that sometimes he does stuff like that, 9 consecutive strikeouts, that is. Sometimes he does stuff like that, but it's just not something that is sustainable. But he signed for 2 years, $25 million with a player option, which is insane to me. Then they signed Will Smith to shore up the bullpen. Of course, the biggest signing being Jacob DeGrom, and then Nathan Eovaldi as well to reshore that pitching rotation. They completely revamped the pitching rotation, and then they also brought in Robbie Grossman as an outfielder because they need bats, and I think they still need bats. The pitching is better, but I don't think that their bats are good enough to match the pitching, because the pitching, I'm making this video after Nathan Eovaldi. I forgot how many runs he gave up, but he gave up a lot of runs. The pitching is good. It's just not that good, especially considering the bats you have. You're going to have, like, Jacob DeGrom, as of right now, is not pitching the way you want him to pitch. I mean, I think he has like a 4 ERA or something like that. And it's really early in the season. I'm not worried about it, but it's hard to see this team kind of fighting for a playoff spot, considering while the pitching is okay. I mean, it's good on paper, but it's just really okay when you really think about it. The bats are just nowhere near good enough to be able to uplift this team past a team like the Angels, who I expect to really make a push. Of course, you got the Houston Astros, which that is a very important matchup for the Rangers, because I think they play them next. That's going to be a very interesting series, just because of the fact that you get to see, okay, how good do our bats line up? Because Houston, while they're not the team, and I'm dealing with injury, Houston is, while they're not the team that won the World Series last year, they're still really good. And so and those bats can heat up quickly and they can score a lot of runs. And I mean, the Rangers can too, to some extent, but overall, it's going to be very interesting to see how well can the offense for the Rangers keep up with the Houston Astros, because the Houston Astros are going to get theirs. I don't care who's pitching. The Houston Astros are going to get theirs. So will the Rangers be able to match that? I don't quite think so. So that kind of goes to my point of they need more bats. I think they're maybe a year away. Maybe this isn't their year, but next year could be their year. But I wouldn't be surprised that they finish above 500 and they're one of those teams where it's like, they worked really hard, they played really well throughout the season, they just weren't good enough, and that is okay, especially when you're in year 2 of the real rebuild of you actually trying to improve the team every year. So that's not too bad, but I think they're just going to end up just missing the playoffs. But I'm very interested to see what they do. Again, like I said, I know they have the series against the Astros coming up. Obviously playing, really, it's just teams in their division. That division is tough. So I really just want to see how well do you play against the other teams. Or how well do you play against the Angels? How well you play against the Mariners. Those are 2 really good teams. So it's just going to be very interesting to see where are the Rangers in that. But if you're a Rangers fan, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like I said, I think the pitching is okay. I think the bats really need some uplifting, and right now they don't have that on the roster. It's something they could get. However, I wouldn't be in a rush to get it just because of the fact that, like I said, you are slowly rebuilding. You have Jacob DeGrom for the long term, so it's not like you're in a rush. It's not like it's a 1-year deal or anything like that. I would just see how it goes. Like I said, I could completely see this team just overachieving in terms of being over 500, but not making playoffs. So yeah, let me know what you think, especially if you're a Rangers fan. Let me know if I got anything wrong. Let me know if there was something I just didn't think about. But yeah, and let me know what team I should do next or player. I mean, I cover everything. So everything baseball related. So if you want to see stuff about prospects, you want to see video games. I just bought Out of the Park Baseball 24. This is the first time I've ever played it. So that would be something interesting to do on the channel. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.